Happy Saturday, everybody. It is Sciencey Saturday with Kelsey, where I get to nerd out and tell you all about science, but put it in terms that make sense for you that you can apply right now to your everyday life so that you can be healthier. Today, we get to talk about storing body fat. Isn't that just cringeworthy just a little bit? Now, let me start by saying there's nothing wrong with some body fat. We need body fat. It's a very rich source of energy for our bodies, and it wants to have body fat, okay? It's a beautiful thing for your body to have it. You may just not like it, or you may not like how much you have of it. So let's talk about how you actually store body fat. Body fat is stored when there is too much circulating glucose in the blood. All right, it has to store it as something, so it goes into adipose tissue. Now, let me take a second and go back, okay? When you consume something, it's always going to break down into glucose. Glucose is a source of energy that your body uses in order to move and do things and breathe and be alive, okay? So let's say that you're about to have some chicken and brown rice and broccoli. Sounds boring, right? But let's just say that that's what it is. Okay. When you are consuming that and you're eating that, and hopefully you're doing that in the right portions, but let's just say that instead of like a half a cup of brown rice, you had 3 cups of brown rice. Okay. That's a lot of rice in one sitting, but let's just say that that's what you did. Okay. So you did that. It's going into your body, and that is a lot for your body to process. It is going to make glucose out of that because that's what your digestive system does. It digests that food, it creates glucose. The glucose goes into the bloodstream and it circulates, trying to find a home. All right. Now, sometimes, well, most of the time, or all the time, I guess I should say, the circulating glucose is going to go to the muscle, and the muscle is going to draw in because insulin gets released, but that's another conversation. It's going to get drawn into the muscle. It's also going to get drawn into the liver. Now, those two areas only have a certain amount of storage available. So if you have a lot of circulating glucose because you have 3 cups of brown rice, right? But you only have enough storage for maybe 1 cup of brown rice, let's just say that's about right. Then suddenly we don't really know where the rest of this glucose is going to go. What do you think happens? It stores as body fat. It's going to find the adipose tissue in the muscle, in the rest of your body, just hanging around, maybe on your hips, thighs, wherever we don't really want it, and it's going to store there. Now, action item for you is to be hyper aware of how much glucose you're actually putting in your body. This is why portions are so important. This is also why America suffers from obesity. If you're going to have ice cream, have ice cream. It's not going to make you fat. Does it have the best nutrient content? Maybe not. But when it comes to storing body fat, it's the portion of that ice cream that really matters. If I sit down and I have a cup of ice cream, I'm probably going to be able to store that okay in my muscles and my liver, depending on how much glycogen is actually sitting in the muscles and liver at the time. If it's full, because I just ate like 30 minutes earlier, then I may have a problem, and then it gets circulated, right? So basically, the moral of the story is watch your portions, all right? If you have too much and you overrun the storage system of the muscle and the liver, it's going to start to store as body fat, all right? And then it's a little bit trickier to get rid of. So again, typical carbohydrate intake, I would love to see 1 to 2 well-cupped handfuls every time you ate. Then you're getting the energy you need to be successful and feel good and get your brain functioning well and perform well in exercise and perform well at work and everyday life. Carbohydrates are very important, okay? But then you're not putting too many in to where you're not able to say, well, don't store as body fat. Too much glucose floating around, all right? That's your Sciencey Saturday. Have an amazing weekend.